If you have ever wondered what it would be like to be Spider-Man, this is the closest we have ever been. A prompt comes up on the screen offering players the choice between tediously swinging all the way down to the robbery, likely arriving late and sweaty, or going into the 57th Street F train station where a sign says a train is arriving in 2 minutes, which, despite giving false hope via the sign saying it's only 2 minutes away the entire time, does not arrive for another 45 minutes. This is the realistic NYC Spider-Man we have all been begging for. If that is not the truth, Joe, then I don't know what is. Every day when I'm waiting for the subway, man. Oh my god.
That's amazing.
Hello, Spider-Men and Spider-Women of New York City. I'm Joe Brown, joined by my best friend Joe Perry, bringing you a web-filled edition of Cup of Joes this week. Obviously, you understand my puns. We are going to be talking about Spider-Man for the PS4. Spoiler-free, don't worry. If you haven't beaten the game like somebody on this podcast, you can relate to them, and you don't have to worry about anything being spoiled for you. Right, Joe?
Wow, that was a little rude. But yeah.
I literally just beat the game this morning, so I'm just being a
Shut
jerk.
up.
I'm just being a jerk.
Shut up.
So it took me 23 or 24 hours, something like that, to beat the game, because I did a lot of side mission-y stuff. I am currently 84% complete with the game. I've done all the backpacks, which is the most important part. More important than saving the city was collecting all the backpacks. And then most of the other side missions. But let's get into it, Joe. The game we've been waiting for
Game we've been talking
forever.
about literally since April.
So we probably talked about Spider-Man at least 25% of our podcast episodes. Is finally here. And not only is it good, not only does it live up to expectations, but I'm not going to say amazing, because that'd be stupid. It is phenomenal. It is a fantastic game that goes right into the Game of the Year category. Of course, I have the bias, obviously, but it is up there with God of War, in my opinion, and some other games that are going to come out in the 2018 year. I was smiling from ear to ear just the entire time while playing this game. What about you, Joe?
I'm still smiling ear to ear as I play the game. Like, I am the Spider-Man. I love playing the game. It's so much fun. It's so much fun just swinging around the city and just like, I don't know, it's so great. I love it.
Yeah, it's hard to put
Like,
into words. Like,
it's because like the web swinging is like actually really, really good. Like it kind of nails it. I love just like bouncing from building to building and like just doing chains of like just bouncing and hopping and like just going thousands of meters.
right.
In like
It really,
minutes.
it's the only game where like I prefer taking the long way, and I see like waypoints and like like you could fast forward to your destination as like a middle finger. You know what I mean? It's like, why would
Yeah.
I fast travel when I can swing there? It's so, and sure, it's 3,000 meters away. I don't care. I'm gonna have a great time getting there.
I don't know, like I feel like this is the only game that I'd rather like play my way to the area than take the fast traveling. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Yeah.
Like it takes longer to fast travel than it does to actually get there.
Right. It kind of feels like that, because, and it probably is, technically
Yeah.
faster to fast travel, but like you have the cut scenes of being on the subway and stuff. And I think a lot of players feel like it's faster to just swing there, because when you're taking the subway, you're not doing anything. You're just sitting there with the controller in your hands. But when you're swinging, even though it takes longer, it feels like, okay, I'm accomplishing something here. So that's just a real testament to how good this game's traversal is, that like people would rather play than use cut, than like skip things. I I'm wondering, did you see a skip cutscene the entire time? I've been wondering, like, for like a second
No.
playthrough or something like that. Is it possible to skip? Because there's a lot of dialogue. There's a lot of cutscenes in this game. It's not just playing. It's not just punching bad guys in the face.
Yeah, it. I man, I don't know. Like there was, it's just like the fighting style was good in it. Like it kind of was like similar to the Batman, but I feel like it was a little bit better, and it made a little bit more sense of why you'd be able to know when to dodge certain things. It was uh it was just really really good.
Yeah,
Like
it's
the
like
fighting
Batman got
style.
Spidey sense 10 years before Spider-Man. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
there was no reasonable explanation as to why Batman had Spidey sense and could counter all the people in Arkham. But like it
yeah,
actually makes sense here. And like going around the different like bases and camps or whatever, and you do those Arkham stealth missions also where you're like perched on top of something and you got to wait till people are looking the other direction so you can take down enemies one by one. But it even feels better as Spider-Man than it does compared to Batman, because like you can just like swing over to the next lamppost and then web strike them down or whatever and pop back up, and like you feel like this is something that Spider-Man could conceivably do, and like it's so rewarding if you get through a whole section of bad guys with like just secretly taking them down one by one. Like you feel like a master assassin
yeah.
during it.
I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna web you up here, and I'm gonna bring you to my level now, and now I'm gonna swing over here without you seeing me, and I'm gonna bring you up here with me. How?
It,
Yeah.
I think of the moments where like I'm like, oh man, these guys are like facing the same direction. I gotta switch it up, and then you shoot some webbing in one location, so one guy's like, hey, what was that? And he starts going for it, and you keep just like inching and inching like a little bit of like a web shot at a time, and it reminds me of Family Guy with like, ooh, piece of candy, ooh, piece
Ooh,
of
a piece of
candy,
candy.
yeah,
Yeah.
ooh, piece of webbing, ooh, and like and then bam, web strike, instantly murder him.
Yeah, pretty much.
The one thing, one thing attached to that the stealth missions with Spider-Man that kind of sucks is that if you do. So some of the missions, like if you're facing against Wilson Fisk's bad guys in a certain area, and if you get through the entire wave stealthily, I don't know if stealthily is a word, but we're gonna go with it.
If you do it,
In
if you stealth it through the whole
right, if you
wave,
go
at the end of the wave, you get alerted, right? Is that what you're getting at?
right, so if you go the entire section without being detected and defeat all of the bad guys, then wave 2 starts and the next wave of bad guys start coming through the door. And I think that kind of in some ways I understand it because it's a program. There's like 5 or 6 ways to these battles, so once you beat the first ones you got to move on. But in other ways, like I really wish that at least in story purpose wise, like if you're doing a story mission and not just one of the random encounter ones, that if you are able to complete the wave of enemies without getting detected, like it should finish there, in my opinion, because like that should be your reward for playing it safe and waiting on it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but at the same time, like, especially when you're doing those like the hideout things, you need to empty the entire hideout to complete it. So to
Right.
me, it makes sense.
I
But
don't know. I feel like it's just because it seems like, why am I wasting my time trying to
yeah,
do it stealthily if then my reward is okay? Well, now you have to fight these guys regardless. Why didn't I just spend the last 3 minutes when I was moving around in the shadows? Why didn't I just punch everything? Because it didn't matter.
yeah,
Because it's
exactly.
always like that. It's always that balance of like we want you to play how you want to play. So if you want to try to take every enemy out without being seen, you can go for that. But then so they give you the option up front, but then in the end it's like your choice doesn't matter regardless. So that's just one like disappointing thing I found sometimes with those.
Yeah.
I don't know. Give me another pro since we're talking about a con here, Joe.
Um, I think the map system and the way that the icons show up when you do like the scan of the city, so you know it's close to you, and there's
Mhm.
like large beacons of light coming out of them, is like a really good way to like kind of indicate where on the map you need to head and like where on the building itself it is. Like The backpacks were like difficult to find at times, but like the light, like that beacon of light was kind of like helped
Yeah.
make it clear where it was.
Yeah,
But
Ubisoft needs to take note from Insomniac Games, because with all like Assassin's Creed and all their Watch Dogs and and all the games that they make with all the towers, and that's what unlocks little side missions and things, like this is how you do it correctly. It gives you a little bit at a time. It never feels like it's unmanageable. And if you were playing like I was, where you go up to a top of a tower in a certain area, say Upper West Side, or like the financial district, wherever, and it unlocks that little section. There are multiple towers for that whole section, so it's not like Breath of the Wild where it unlocks that whole region for you. So I feel like that was a nice decision, because it gets you to explore more of the area, one, but two, it doesn't give you all of them. So let's say like I think like Midtown is like 16 landmarks that you're supposed to take photos of or something, right? So
yeah,
if
I
they
think so.
unlocked all 16 on the map for you at once, you'd be like, oh geez, oh all right, this is gonna take a while to take all these pictures going around. But since it's like it's divided into chunks, and you logically, like how I was playing it was like when I unlocked a new area, I knew I had a story mission I needed to go do, but I was like, I'm gonna get a couple of these side, the backpacks or the landmarks, or doing a research thing, whatever. I was going to get some of those accomplished while I was in the area, so that way when I was coming back through, I didn't have so much to do.
Yeah,
So, and
exactly.
I really like how Insomniac handled that by giving you just a little piece of candy at a time, so that way you didn't get stuffed. Ooh, you like that analogy?
Oh, I did. I liked it a lot. That was a good one, bud. I enjoyed
So,
that.
um, I'm just trying. I kind of it's this is hard for me, Joe, because
Why is it
like
hard for you? What's so hard about this?
because this game was just so important to me. Like I was there Thursday night at my local GameStop getting ready. There was like 100 people there, and I was like, wow, everyone's really excited to play Spider-Man. Turns out the new NBA 2K19 came out on the same day, so it was not as much Spider-Man hype as I anticipated, because most people were there for NBA. But I'll still take it. I'll still tell people that there were 100 people waiting in line for Spider-Man, because they technically
Oh
were.
my gosh.
Um, so like if you saw my photo I posted on Facebook, like I was wearing a Spider-Man shirt. I showed off my Spider-Man poster. I got we both got that collector's edition, like, and it was so I played 11 hours straight when the game came out. So of course my stupid PS4 had to like update and download 7 gigs or whatever, which is it's the era we're in. I hate it. But every game you get, you can't play it right away. You gotta wait an hour for it to download. So I'm like, all right, I'll go take a shower. I bought a Monster. I bought an
Oh my
energy drink at
gosh.
like 11 o'clock at night, and I just chugged it so I had the energy. And it was literally like the rest of my family was coming down in the morning for work, because I work nights and they work during the morning. So it was like they're coming down to get ready for work, and I'm sitting exactly where they left me when they went to bed. And they're like, "How is it?" It's great. And I'm just like ignoring them playing. And so,
I'm busy.
so like I literally, it's when I wasn't playing Spider-Man for these last couple of
Mhm.
days, all I thought about was playing Spider-Man. When I was trying to sleep, so I had enough time to wake up to play Spider-Man, I was like, I can't sleep, because all I'm thinking about is playing more Spider-Man. Like every minute at work, every conversation I was having with my friends at work and on Facebook and stuff about the game, like it has completely consumed my life over this last week. And like
Yeah.
oh my god, I'm so happy that it exists, because Spider-Man's got a pretty raw deal in video games recently. Like he's been used as like, just like cheap fodder to sell to attach to movies, and there's like, the last couple games haven't been great, but it's nice to know that not only did Insomniac make a good Spider-Man, but it's also a fantastic game in general that happens to be Spider-Man related.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with that. Like this is like the best Spider-Man ever to
Yeah,
me. Like I think he's a
100%.
fantastic Spidey man.
Oh
I've been
man,
I've been calling him the Spooder Man.
Spoodermans.
I've been spooning all over this gosh dang city.
You'll call him the Spider Cop.
Oh my god, that was so funny. That was
So,
great.
to anybody who hasn't played it yet, one, if you're an Xbox player, well, go back in time and change that and get a PS4 5 years ago. So you're ready for Spider-Man. But if you can't do that, next best thing, we'll explain the plot for you. So, Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man, is trying to stop Wilson Fisk, who's a big baddie in New York City, and that's how the game starts. That's where it teaches you the mechanics and the Arkham Asylum style gameplay. I'm not gonna lie, I think most of my deaths in the game occurred at the beginning just because I didn't have a handle on it yet. Like, because Wilson Fisk is a big boy, Joe. He was punching at me real hard, and I'm like, oh no, I didn't dodge. I'm just getting punched in the face.
Yeah, that was me as well, bud.
So once I got the hang of it, it was really fun to just be like punch, dodge, web and dodge, web dodge. Like I was, I didn't even care about the combos. I care about sliding around and dodging and everything like that. But so you take out Wilson Fisk, and then that's when the game starts. That's when the other bad guys start coming up because you always need a bad guy to stop Spider-Man. And you work with Yuri Watanabe, who works at the police station, and that's how they get the story going for you, is you're working with her to try to stop crimes, and that's how they set it up, and then everything else unfolds regarding the game. And there's a lot of characters that everybody knows and loves. There's some that aren't really involved in the game too, which makes me assume they're going to be a part of the second game. But what I really liked was, I think it was such a good decision to make Peter Parker 23 and not like 17, and make him an established Spider-Man who knows what he's doing, who everybody knows who Spider-Man is. Every villain is trying to stop him, and like it made it so much more real or believable, realistic, I guess you can go for. Would be the word, that like he would be kicking all this ass because he's been doing this for so long, and he knows how to balance that work life and Spidey life and stuff, and it was just a really smart decision.
Yes, it was great. I loved it. It made his witty banter was also really great, and like it was just really funny to hear him say silly things as he was like kicking these guys' butts and like destroying them. It's like, oh, you want me to get this door for you? And you just smack him with the door.
Yeah, that's some of the best stuff that like Spider-Man has, like in his comics and shows and everything, is like that confidence he has mid-battle. He's not serious. He always, like, even when he's scared and when he knows he's like outnumbered or something, he still has the wherewithal to like crack a joke about it to make it so it's not too serious or too dark or anything. And that's, one of the main reasons why people love Spider-Man as a character.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's see, what else can we talk about? I was a little, let's see. I was a little disappointed with the Peter Parker portion of the game. Not that Peter wasn't great. I really loved him and the voice acting and like his interactions and relationships with the people. But like, I really wish we had more with Peter than just the cutscenes of him talking to people as Peter, you know what I mean? Like, because every cutscene you went into like Aunt May's job, or you went into your job where you're working on like research or whatever. Like,
but that's
every
but
time,
that was...
right? I know. Hold on. Every time you went in there, you went as Spider-Man, went up to the door, and then a cutscene, or fades to black, and then it goes into like a cutscene as Peter. I'm just saying, I wish there were more sections where you like genuinely played as Peter and not just like isolated moments of cutscenes where you talk to characters. You get what I'm saying?
I got what you're saying, but like once again, this game is Spider-Man, not the Peter Parker experience.
But hold on, because Spider-Man is Peter Parker, so it's two in the same though. So okay. There could have been a moment where you're at I don't know, you're in a meeting for your research job or whatever, and like something happens and you have to try to get out of there as Peter Parker instead of as Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like just something like that is what I'm saying. I'm not saying like we take a cab through the city instead of web slinging through it. I just wish there was more moments, like some of those moments where we play as Mary Jane I wish we had something like that as Peter Parker, because I love the character of Peter Parker just as much as I do Spider-Man, and obviously you spend so much more time as Spider-Man because, as you said, you're playing a Spider-Man game. But that was one thing where I was a little disappointed in, was not having big moments as Peter.
Yeah, not being the whole Peter Parker deal. I can understand that. But I don't know. Like at the same time, I was all about playing as um playing as the Spider-Man and making him go around the city and being the spooterist at the spootering. But I don't know. Like I was fine with the Peter Parker sequences because I knew that Peter Parker was also Spider-Man. Like I knew that's how Peter Parker would act if he was just also being Peter Parker.
Right.
So I didn't really need like another kind of like aspect of Peter just being Peter because like I was like I'm the Spider-Man right now and I'm being the best Spider-Man I could be.
I get you. I respect it. That's honorable, trying to be the best Spider-Man you can be, Joe.
I was the best Spooderman of all Spooters.
um, what was I gonna say? Oh, so like, I guess another reason I feel that way is because I would spend 4 hours checking backpacks and fighting out at fighting fist men and things like that, and it'd be like Aunt May was like, okay, we need you at the shelter, and I'd spend 4 hours not doing that, and then I go there, and then he's like, hey, I'm here, 2 minute cutscene, hey, I gotta go, bye. Like,
Yeah.
It was like every single Peter Parker cutscene went like that. Was like, and I know they can't do anything because they can't make it time sensitive. Like you have to when Octavius is saying like, quick, get to work now. We have a breakthrough. Like we understand that we could take as long as we want because that cutscene's not going anywhere, and it wouldn't be fair if you had to stop what you wanted to do to then go do the main mission. So I understand that situation, but it was like literally every time you played as Peter, about 2 and 2.5 minutes later, you were playing as Spider-Man again. It was like, hey, I just got here for work. Oh, I guess I spent 8 hours here in 2 minutes. Gotta go web things up. Like,
Gotta go, Spooter. Bye.
yeah. All right. So, what do you think about the Mary Jane playable scenes? Because we've known for a long time that you got to play as Mary Jane as well. They're more stealth mission-y things. It's not like she has web shooters or anything. She's got to be a regular ass human being and not Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how I felt. Like, it was different, but I feel like I've only really played one. I don't think I've played that many other ones. Like,
there's quite a few of them.
I'm trying to remember how.
There's at least like 4 or 5 where you play as Mary Jane.
Man, I guess I haven't played that much of it then. Like I played the one in that like museum thing. That's the only one I can remember at the moment.
Okay. Yeah, there are a good amount of them, but like I guess what do you think about that? Does that gameplay change from being Spider-Man to having to be like quiet and stealthy and knock things over to get to where you need to go?
I thought it was fine because it was like a change in what you had to do, but it also kind of explain because like the first time you do it, it's to explain what happened before you got there, like how things are the way they are at this moment. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I was fine with that because Mary Jane is a pivotal character in the Spooderman's life, and
As she should be.
watching them kind of figure out what they need to do and how they need to be to make this work.
So
I don't know. Like I enjoyed them. I thought they were fun.
I thought I really enjoyed the first one because the first one is, as you're talking about in that museum, like she's not going up against a bunch of bad guys with guns or whatever. Like she's trying to sneak past to get information on this like isolated. It felt like the first one felt isolated to me. It felt like it felt small enough in scale that Mary Jane could conceivably handle it. She's one person trying to get past one other person to do this thing to accomplish whatever she's trying to do. The ones after that start to ramp up in scale where she's stealthing past like elite soldiers or like bad guys with guns and things, and there's like and there's like 20 of them, and she gets from room to room to room, and they're like, I guess, the most gullible villains of all time, which of course it works out for
Well,
us because we can get through. But like it just seemed that I was totally okay with the first one, but then after that, doing the same thing like 5 times, and it became less and less likely in my head that she could conceivably by herself get through these like hyper trained mass murderers without anyone turning around to hear anything.
yeah, exactly. I agree with that statement.
Right.
But like
And
at the same time,
it got repetitive. It got really, really repetitive for me. Where I'm like, oh my god, I have to sit here and wait. Okay, now he turned. Now the other guy's turn. I can take one guy out. Like it just became so monotonous at one point for me that I was like, oh my god, I want to be Spider-Man again.
yeah, I don't know. Like some of the things that Spider-Man even did, I was like, yo, Spider-Man, there's no way you could do this. There's
Well,
no way you're gonna
he's
climb up this
Spider-Man though.
building while there's a helicopter and like people looking at the building with laser sights and like all these drones all over the place. Is like, no way, no way.
Well, if one had to be more believable, it'd be the Spider-Man stuff for me. But then
Yeah,
the other thing that was I guess it like took the wind out of the sails for me was the Mary Jane moments. Like as you said, it was nice. It set up like, okay, this is how we got here, and it said like 15 minutes prior where she's like, hold on, I'm doing something, and Peter's like, what? Wait, Mary Jane, where are you? And then it says 15 minutes earlier, and then you do play that stealth mission with her, and where she ends up on there at the end of her section is where you ended up as Spider-Man. So two things align or whatever. But it took the emotion out of it the more it happened, because every time it was like a previously on General Hospital, like, because I felt like, okay, well, I'm not in danger of getting caught because this happened 15 minutes ago, so I know where Mary Jane is. So like, do you get what I'm saying, or do I sound crazy? Where
I
like
got what you're saying.
it made it seem like, okay, well, it doesn't seem as relevant or as like important to get through this without being caught, because I know nothing bad is going to happen because we see where she ends up 15 minutes from now.
Yeah, it's true. I don't like. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't played a lot of the Mary Jane sequences, so I can't.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still being the best Spider-Man I could be.
Um.
And oh,
Just
let's talk about the Easter egg that's in the game. That's considered to be the most depressing Easter egg of all time. Have you heard about this, Joe Brown? It's not a spoiler.
Easter egg. No. I mean, maybe I came across it, sure, but I don't remember.
Okay, there is a marriage proposal in the game. It's on a movie theater inside of the game, on the movie theater, on the big like movie theater board that like tells you what movies are playing there.
Hmm.
It's on there and it says, "Maddie, will you marry me?"
So wait, did like a developer put that in there to like ask his girlfriend in real
No,
life?
some guy tweeted at Insomniac Games, asked them to put it in there, and they obliged.
Oh my god, that's awesome!
3 weeks before the game came out, the girl broke up with him after 5 years and started dating his brother.
No!
Yes.
Oh my god! And every time that poor guy who's such a huge Spider-Man, he tweeted out Insomniac to like, make his life perfect and have the woman he loves get proposed to her in the game and the character he loves. Every time he plays Spider-Man for the rest of his life, he's going to think of that moment.
Well, yeah, but like he said, he's like, I'd rather someone like he's like, I'd rather get someone married. Like that's what he said.
Well, okay. Well, what else is he gonna
I don't
say,
know.
Joe?
Like I don't know. Like he was happy that it was
You
in
think
there,
there
but
was
he
some
was
other big
upset.
Spider-Man fan dating a Maddie that was thinking of proposing to her, and she's gonna see it? I
I
don't
have
think
no
so.
idea.
That's pretty
Uh,
cool, though. That's a nice way to do it.
I don't know, but I thought it was, I thought it was really funny. But like, there is both sides to the story. Like, the girlfriend did come out and explain her reasons why, which are they do make a lot of sense. Um,
dating the brother though?
I don't know if she's actually dating her brother. Maybe that was a different thing.
Oh, okay.
'Cause I think, yeah, she ends her comment with saying, "I did not leave Tyler for his half brother, and I have never been unfaithful to Tyler."
Ooh.
Yeah.
The plot thickens, Joe. I bet in in Marvel Spider-Man 2, she's gonna have her reply on that movie theater. No.
Yeah.
Ask your brother.
But like, I thought it was funny because like he did all this and he like made it he said this story, but then someone like when her story came out, it's like, oh, okay, guy, you need to relax. Like she's like, I would have never wanted to be proposed this way, and I don't like video games.
Right. It's kind of like going to a
So
baseball game.
yeah. But yeah, there's
All right.
a lot of things.
Let's
But
talk. Let's
it was
move on
interesting.
let's get away from that poor guy's life. And talk about more fun things. So, you know
I
who's
mean,
a total loser?
oh,
J. Jonah Jameson and his podcast.
dude. Oh wait, can we talk about one thing before we actually talk about that?
Sure.
The sound is really weird in the game. Like the
Like
like
the
speaking
whoosh.
portions. No, like whenever someone's talking, I can hardly hear what they're saying.
It's very low. I had to turn my TV up a lot. Yeah.
But like the surroundings and like the special effects noises are super loud. Like so I don't always hear J. Jonah Jameson like talking about stuff. I had to put the subtitles on so I could partially read them while I'm slinging webs.
Hmm.
But I don't know.
Yeah, so J. Jonah Jameson is like he left the Daily Bugle to start this Just the Facts with J. Jonah Jameson, and it's kind of funny. It's kind of like in GTA when random funny things come on the radio when you're driving around. You know what I mean? Um,
Mm.
so it's like
Oh,
it's like that, but like I guess more hysterical and like everything is Spider-Man's fault, and you know
yeah, he keeps like blaming Spider-Man for
it
everything.
is funny, and he like when he's not being a total idiot, he does make like some good points about like some of the bad guys in the show in the game and stuff. So I thought it was funny. But I guess it's attached to one odd thing that happens or one weird interaction with scripted dialogue in this game is if
Mhm.
you do something unscripted that provokes Peter or somebody else to talk in the game, it stops the scripted dialogue and then restarts it. So let me give you an example, because Joe's probably like, "What does Joe talk about? He's a complete idiot. He's a total
No,
loser."
I know what you're
Oh,
talking
okay. So you're on the phone with Aunt May, let's say, and she's talking about
Yeah.
how the shelter's going, blah blah blah, and then you go catch a pigeon for whatever reason, or you talk to somebody who's trying to give you a side mission, or you talk to a different bad guy or something like that. Then her air quote cutscene, her audio cutscene that she's having with you to set up the next portion of the story is stop to a halt. You do that action, and then once that's done, her scripted dialogue restarts from the beginning of that conversation, so it recalls as if like it just happened for the first. It was, oh hey Peter, how are you, for the second time in like 30 seconds.
Are you sure it was on them on the phone or like because whenever it happens for me, it's always like a voicemail that Peter comes across?
Yeah, so I guess it's the same thing. I'm
Well,
talking about phone scenes. Yeah, when you're swinging around. So if it's a voicemail or because it
yeah,
happened
like
while he was talking to Mary Jane in a phone conversation once as well for me.
oh yeah, but like for the way I can kind of explain that away is like if it's the voicemail, he's like, oh, I gotta hang up the phone, so he hangs up the phone, and then he goes to play it again, so he has to play it from the beginning. Or like if he's talking to Mary Jane on the phone, I know they probably don't say this, but he's probably like, gotta go, when he hangs up the phone, and then he picks it back up
No,
later, and they just start the
he doesn't.
conversation again.
He
No,
doesn't.
he doesn't. I imagine.
In the
I
Mary Jane.
imagine it. I
Oh,
can
oh,
imagine it.
oh, geez, that was all up in my ear, and everyone who listened, that was aggressive. Um,
You
the
did the
the
same
one with
thing.
Mary Jane was good though, because when he hangs it up and comes back in, he said, "Sorry, I didn't hear what you just asked," and then she asked the same question. So the Mary Jane one was covered, but it's the voicemail ones that are kind of annoying.
Yeah, but like I understand them to a degree. I don't know.
What's your favorite suit that you've been rocking?
The Iron Spider.
The Iron
The
Spider from Civil War.
you mean from the Avengers?
Yeah, you're right. I meant Infinity War, not Civil War. Infinity
Yeah.
War. You've been
Yeah,
using that one.
I've been using that one because it's really shiny and
I
bright.
use mainly the Homecoming Spider-Man costume. I feel
Yeah.
like yeah, because well, so here's my reasoning. I feel like only some of the costumes really were like effort put into for cutscene purposes. So obviously like the original one, and then the Insomniac version, and then all the current Marvel ones like the Homecoming and the Infinity War ones, because they actually have eyes that emote, and like the mask changes and stuff during the cutscenes, so you can see what Peter is thinking and how he's reacting. And a lot of the masks, like the noir outfit or like Spider-Man 2099, I love that character and I love that suit. So I was playing as that one when I was swinging around when I unlocked it, and then I go into a cutscene and it's just like dead mask, like, because it has no type of reactions in it at all. So I found myself, I had to play the gameplay in certain cutscenes or in certain suits that I wanted, like this, like the noir outfitter 2099, and then right before I got into a cutscene I had to stop and change my suit back into one that had like an emotive face on it to actually to experience the cutscene. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you. I don't know if I don't know. Like I haven't. I felt like a lot of the cutscenes that I've done, they don't have. I don't know.
It's like subtleties of like the eyes changing size and the mouth moving differently and stuff. Like you can notice it. Like go through your next cutscene with like the Spider-Man noir outfit and see him try to react, and then go through the scene after that with like the Insomniac one or the Civil War one. God damn it, it's Civil War again. Infinity Wars one. And like you will notice there is a definite, even if it's subtle, a definite difference. It's not bad. It's just like I wish that the other masks got the same treatment, but I understand why they didn't, because they don't function the same way.
Yes,
You
I
know.
understand that. I got you.
But I'm not lying, Joe. I enjoyed collecting the backpacks more than anything else in this game.
Yeah, because they all had lore behind them. Like you got a story with
You
every
got little
backpack.
nuggets of him cooking dinner with MJ, or like his like school badge or stuff like that.
Or them breaking up.
Right. It's just I love those. I really wish there were more backpacks. Hopefully in the DLC there's gonna be more backpacks.
There was 55 backpacks, my guy. You did good.
I need more.
Go do the science ones.
Dude, I hate. So those are actually fun to do. The research ones are fun, but the only reason I stopped doing them, I did like 5, and then I was like, I'll do the rest post game, is because it changes the time of day, and like it like takes time. So it's like taking the subway in the game. Like that's more time where I'm not playing, where I'm just having the controller in my lap, waiting for the cutscenes to change. Because I really don't know why the research tokens and those missions had to be done at specific times of day, and why it couldn't just be done whenever you were currently playing based on the story mission. You know what I mean?
I think it was like to do contrast. Um, like some of the ones are done during like night, cause so you can see the contrast of the building of like the pipes inside of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or like one of the other ones was done during the day, like the clouds, because so you could see them better.
Yeah.
Um, so that I think that's why they had to do it like that.
It was just like I made a conscious decision to stop doing the research tasks, because I didn't want to. I wanted to beat the game, or do as much as I could before beating the game. So I was like, I didn't like this is, even if it's only 20 seconds, it was something where I was conscious of like I don't want to waste this time.
Yeah, exactly.
But where is this rank for you in 2018? Where does Marvel Spider-Man for PS4 go on Joe Perrian's top games of 2018?
We got a top fiver here. This is like within the top 5.
Just top 5, Joe.
Dude, trying to remember all the games I played this year,
I know
right?
it's tough. All right, where does it stand to God of War? How about that?
Oh, definitely above God of War.
Thank you for being a decent human being, Joe.
It was definitely above God of War. Like, Spooderman, guy. It's the Spooderman.
Spider Cup.
Spider Cup. Coming for you.
Yeah, no, I definitely. This is one of my favorite games that I've ever played. I want to stop talking to you so I can go play more Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying?
Me too. You know what I think we should do? I think we should end the podcast so we can go play Spider-Man.
All right, I'll give it 9.5. I need a description. 9.5. What would be something that wouldn't like spoil anything, like items? 9.5 backpacks out of 55. No, out of 10.
God.
Out of 10.
I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it 9.5 webs out of webs.
There you go. I like it. So those are our official scores. Thank you for everybody listening to our Spider-Man review here on Cup of Joe's. This is a day that Joe and I have legitimately been waiting for longer than we can remember, and Spider-Man absolutely lived up to the expectations. Shout out to Laura Bailey as Mary Jane. That was a nice addition. When I learned that while playing the game, I was like, why do I really like Mary Jane so much in this game? And then I learned it's because she was Laura Bailey.
And Travis Willingham.
Travis Willingham is in the game also as Wilson Fisk. A much smaller role compared to it. Oh, also Aunt May's not even that old, bro. Like she looked like 60?
Yeah, she was looking pretty good.
Ooh, Joe, you got a thing for Aunt May with her orange hair?
Nah, the one in Homecoming.
Oh yeah, Marissa Tomei, obviously.
Yeah.
Did you see? Have you seen the video of Aunt May cutting a carrot and it doesn't cut anything and it's just the same?
Yeah, I saw that.
I saw that in game. I saw it before I played, but then when I got to that scene, I was like, "Wait, I have to stay here and see this."
Oh my gosh.
Oh god, it was so good. Yeah, so that's gonna be it for us. Next week we'll have a more conventional episode of Cup of Joe's for you, but we just had too much Spidey excitement that we had to get out of us and into you. Oh god, this sounds terrible. I'm just gonna leave and play more Spider-Man. Yeah, I can't wait for Marvel Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, man, I can't either. I'm gonna go play some more Spider-Man right now.
All right, talk to you later. Bye.
Oh, they're good.